All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we got all kinds of cool stuff lined up. It will probably be a little bit of a shorter video, or a little more chill. But guys, we got some pretty cool stuff, pretty exciting stuff to go over. Let me give you a quick layout of how it's going to go so we can just get straight into it. First things first, we'll head over to the lab. We've got a game of purple yellow pudding versus green black Perona. Okay, that should be a lot of fun. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to check out over on the lab. From there, we are going to head over to a top 16 red yellow Sabo deck list from a treasure cup. I don't know exactly how many people were in it. It was the Raid and Trade treasure cup. A top 16 red yellow Sabo list from there. I will talk about that more when we get to it in the video. From there, we will hop over to the sim, and I'm going to show you guys a gameplay, basically me piloting that version of the deck. It is not a list that I made myself, but we'll give credit to the author, you know, the player who made the deck in their own way when we get to it. Okay, but I'm going to at least show an example of how the deck works and some of the really cool new tech cards they were messing with. We'll get to that when we get to it. And then we will finally, we'll do one more game on the sim. Everyone's probably wondering, wait, there's black-yellow Linlin on the screen. Why is it on there? We'll have one game of black-yellow Linlin at the very end, and we'll talk about that. And then we'll finish off the video with the deck list and all that good stuff. Okay, guys? All right, let's go ahead and dive into this. I could not be more excited to talk about a red-yellow Sabo list that went 8-2. It got top 16 in a pretty large-scale tournament, a treasure cup, the Raid and Trade online tournament. We'll talk about that more as we get into it, like I said. I will have everything time-stamped down in the general description, and then I will have any kind of relevant links and deck lists in the comment section of the video. Okay, guys? All right, let's do this. Let's get into it. First things first. Let's move this leader here. I know, we haven't seen black-yellow Linlin on the channel in a minute, guys. I know. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. So this first portion of the video is called The Lab. If you're a newer player or a newer viewer to the channel, at the beginning of every single video, with a few exceptions, you know, there's a few videos that are hyper-focused on a certain thing. Or, you know, if it's hyper-focused on one thing, we don't do the lab. But generally speaking, at the beginning of every one of my videos, we have a portion called The Lab, okay? And in this portion of the video, we basically, you know, how do I say this? The community submits videos to me to review, and that's what we do in this part of it. If you're interested in me reviewing your content, all you have to do is record your game with a program like OBS, which is a free program. You can record your game, upload it to YouTube, that's also free. And then once you upload it, you can send the link to me over in Discord, under the VV Theory Discord, under a channel called Review My Game. I'll put a thumbs up emoji next to it as soon as I see it, and I'll throw it in line, and you'll be, you know, the next in line as we go down it. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way for the newer players, let's go ahead and hop into this game. We got a game of purple yellow pudding versus green black Perona. This should be very exciting. Excuse me. I think purple yellow pudding might be pretty decent now that red purple law is gone. Because for those who are not, pause, hang on 1 second, guys. For those who are not aware, I should have also said this in the intro, but the next week of my channel will probably be pure OP09 spoilers and review, because OP09 is now legal in the East, guys. Yesterday at the time you're recording this, OP09 is now out in the East. It might have been their pre-release week, but whatever the case is, we're going to start seeing those results very, very soon. So guess what? Of course, we have to catch up, and you know, we have to get caught up with them so we know what to expect when we start looking at these results from the East, from OP09. We have to know what the cards do. Also, OP08 pre-release comes out for us in the West this Friday coming up at the time of recording this video. So it is about to be busy, 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 but we got to stay on top of it, guys. We got to stay on top of our game. Now, with that in mind, OP08, like I said, purple yellow pudding might be kind of decent for us in the West, guys. Lucci has been nerfed, and red purple law no longer exists. I mean, technically it does in the promo version, but can we not talk about that? No, I'm just kidding. I will probably explore that leader later, but not in today's video. All right, now we can actually get into the game, guys. Sorry, some quick announcements, and just to give a quick heads up, guess what? Monday through Friday this next upcoming week, or actually technically it'll be, I might make it Sunday through Friday because it'll be 6 videos. It will be OP09 spoilers and full set breakdown. Actually, it'll be 7 videos, guys. I'm sorry, because it'll be all the leaders and then all the colors. Okay, now, sorry about that, guys. Now we can actually get into this video. a lot of teasing going on. All right, so check out the hand here. We've got the Perospero. That'll be a perfect follow-up to Pudding. And then we're going to have a perfect follow-up. After this, we're going to... Okay, so notice what the purple-yellow Pudding did there. Attack for 5, revealing the top 2 cards of their life, which one is a trigger, and they're actually both triggers, as crazy as that is. Now, the Frankie's not the best trigger to have when you have 4 life, but still, you can use it to draw a card and cycle, so that way your opponent doesn't know what's in your hand, right? Because you revealed this information to him. And then the other one's a beige. So here's the nice part, though. They ramp a Dawn when they do that. That is the when attacking effect on purple-yellow Pudding. Whenever they attack, you reveal the top 2 cards of your life, and then you ramp a Dawn. That is going to be a perfect transition for us into the next turn for that 6-cost Katakuri. Let's see if our opponent knows how to play around this. We'll have to see. Okay, they take the hit for 5. That was actually very greedy. I think that was a pretty greedy play. Not saying it was a bad play. It was just, let's see if it pays off. They're going to tap their 2 characters and use You Can Be My Samurai to draw some cards there. They tap down our Perospero, swinging for 6. We took a counter out. And so they did play around it. That is important to mention, that they did play around our Katakuri play there. Because if they had swung 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever into our face, into our leader, guess what? We would take the hit. Even if we can counter out, there's no reason to do it. You take the hit, and then you, on the next turn, this turn we're on now, you'd play out Katakuri to flip the Capone Gang Beige face down, ramp a Dawn, and then swing for more with your leader, flipping it face up again, and ramping another Dawn, and you'll have a turn 4 10-cost Linlin potentially. However, we don't have 10-cost Linlin in our hand, but we do have the 9-cost one, so it doesn't matter. They did technically play around it correctly, whether they meant to or not. They played around it correctly, but now we're going to be able to easily go into a 9-Dawn play on our next turn. Ramping there, swing for 5. I would swing at least 1 into the Momo, at least the Pudding into the Momonosuke. Okay. Okay, so why not... pause. Real quick, guys. I would say this was a slight play mistake. At least swing the Pudding into something, right? So what I would have done that turn is swing 2 into the Momonosuke first, just to make sure they don't counter out of it, because they go 2K, 1K if they wanted. I'm not saying they should, but that's something they could do. Then you could smash into it with the Perospero. But otherwise, I would have gone... My turn would have looked like this: Pudding attack into the Momo, Perospero attack into face for 5, and then my Pudding into the face for 6. And I would have played the Katakuri probably right after the attack with the Perospero. Sequencing is a very big deal. It telegraphs to your opponent what you're doing sometimes if you don't do it in the right order. You give them ideas that you don't want them to have. Now, they are just going crazy hand size right here. Maybe there's an idea to tech in a few cards into this list. Nice. So we did a top 3 search with the KO from the Perospero, and now we're going to be able to grab another 6 cost. It's really just a 1K counter at this point in the game, but still, we got a counter from that after they KO'd the Perospero. But real quick, they're just going straight hand size in this game. So maybe we could fit in like a 4-cost 5K 1K counter blocker Law that can trash cards if they have 7 or more in their hand at random, right? Trash 2 cards from their hand at random if they have 7 or more by returning 1 Dawn. Speaking of which, sorry, I'm all over the place in this game, guys, because there's so much going on right now. Maybe we should have let the Perospero go on the turn prior when we countered out, and we could have kept the Flampe in our hand. But mainly because of this reason, it could have let us do a top 3 search and potentially get a 10-cost Linlin from it. Okay, but I guess we couldn't get to it anyway, but that's okay. Okay, so right here, I would play this out. So again, I would do my attacking first. Make sure you're doing your attacking first. Like 2 into the Momonosuke. I would go 5 into face, 7 into face, and then I would play this card out, and I wouldn't give them any cards to life. I would trash 1 card from our hand to gain a life, and then, go from there. And I wouldn't give them any of these cards, because they can have these little 0-cost cards. They're not going to do anything for them. Okay? That one did have cost reduction on it, at least. I think that Sasaki has like a cost reduction, right? So that's fine. Okay, swinging in. We swung in for 7. They 2K, 1K counter out. It looks like they're on their 8 Dawn turn now, so this will probably be a Gecko Moria play since they established the Borsellino. Okay, yep, Gecko Moria. They're going to play out the Momonosuke, the Borsellino, pass the turn back. Okay, very nice. And now we can push back a 6 or less. See, now that's a good card to push back. I do like that. We're going to swing for 6, 7, 8. Or 6, 7, 9, excuse me. if I could just count a little bit, that'd be good. And right here, yeah, putting into the Momo, absolutely. Let's see if we do it. Oh, they got an Ice Age. Always swing into the board first. Always, always, always. So major sequencing issues. I'm gonna try and remember to bring that up at the end of this game, guys. There's been some major sequencing issues in this game. Okay, 9 into 9. Yeah, of course we're just gonna counter that. But are they gonna Momo? Are they going to Doflamingo here? I've not seen this game, guys, but they left 10 Dawn active. They have not buffed anything. We're gonna draw 3 trash to a Shirahoshi. 9 cost Kaido. Okay. Okay. Yep. So they have to trash card, and now we have to trash card from hand. I might have given him a 2K counter there because I'd rather have the KO effect from the Nami because it also draws a card. But not a big deal. Okay, so we're going 12 at face. Okay. Do we have a way to win the game this turn, or are we just threatening for next turn maybe? So 11, and then we'll just go all in here, it looks like. This is a scary spot to be in because they might just hide behind a wall of blockers on this next turn. The good news is we did keep the counter, you know, and we'll be able to defend our board. I would have gone into their characters, just to be honest, guys. That's just me personally. I would have just attacked into the characters. But that's not necessarily a misplay because we have 4 life. We have tons of counter in hand. It's definitely not the end of the world. 2K, 2K. Your turn. What are they going to do now? They have 8 Dawn left to work with. Probably another... they need to play blockers. Like, I don't know what else to play here other than blockers. That's what I'd be doing. Okay. They're going to play out a Sabo. Yep, and they'll have 3 Dawn left. I wonder what they're going to do with this. They have exactly 3 Dawn left. I don't know what all's in these plays. Okay, Momo search, then maybe play out like a 2 cost. Or no, just swing 7. Absolutely. I would probably... Okay, I was going to say, I probably would have used it just to cycle through my deck, but here we go. I think we can just go 11, 11, 11 right here, right? Just swing 11, swing 11, swing 11. Okay, or 12. We'll swing for 12. This should... I would take this if I were the Perona player, I would take this. Yep, they do take it. Now we're going to swing for... we're going to swing for 12. Very good. Like I said, I think 11, 11, 11 would be slightly better here. I'm just saying, but we might still have it either way. Okay, they were able to get out of it. Not a big deal. We have a beige on top. They can't win this turn. They can't win this turn. They're gonna... Wow, swinging for 9 into 9 is crazy, guys. For the Perona player, if you're listening or if you find yourself in this position, you have to swing for at least 2K. And yes, you know, our pudding player could have countered out of one of those for sure, but not the second one. You have to swing for at least 2 over, unless you have no other option. And it looks like they just left. Oh, because you had 3 attacks. You technically had 4 if you needed them with the Shirahoshi, but you easily could have gone swing 9, swing 9, swing 9, and what would be left? Swing 6 or 7 or something. Okay, really good stuff there. That was very fun. The only thing I would make a recommendation on is to practice your sequencing. You won the game. That's all that matters is at the end. But let's at least look at a few things here. I think this was the first turn. Don't play out Katakuri first. So first things first, you swing for 0. Hang on. Let me let them do their turn. Okay, pause. So this turn should look like this. You swing 2K into the 0 power, 2,000 power into the 0 power Momonosuke. Then you swing for 5 with your character. They have no idea what you're doing. You have 6 Dawn on, you know, active. Now that you swing for 5, you play out the Katakuri like you do right here. Excellent. Flipping the top life card face down, so we ramp the Dawn. Then we swing for 6. That is the best way to do that turn. They don't get any extra value from their Momonosuke, and then it goes about it that way. Now, just fast forwarding a little bit more. Right here was another play that I would have done slightly differently. Right here, that Sasaki... it does have activate main to reduce the cost of the character. I guess that's fine to get rid of that, but at the same time, they can only get 1 character off the board next turn with their follow-up play, which I believe was the Kaido, right? Let me see what they do. No, we could have swung 2 into the Momo again, and then swing 7 into face and go about it that way. Okay, just to get more pressure on our opponent because that pudding's not doing anything else. You know, it's just sitting there. Okay, let's see what happens here. After this one, this is when I think they play... Oh, they played out a Gecko Moria. So literally, if we had not worried about that Sasaki, they would be at 3 life right now, and we still have our full board because look what they had to play last turn. And now this turn, let me show you a trick real quick here. You swing 2 into Momo first with the pudding and dare him to block. Literally dare him. Like, I dare you to block this card because then I'm going to have 3 more attacks at your face. And like I said, if we had not lifed the Sasaki... then they only have 3 life. So they're going to be down to 0 life, and you have these bodies on the board. And not to mention, if we don't life the Sasaki, they have to trash one of these other cards anyway because they'd have a full board. A few things that I would take into consideration. Okay, but that's fine too, by the way, pushing back the Borsellino and establishing another 9K. This play was fine. It's just I would start your turn off. Again, the sequencing, I think, needs a little bit of work. Okay, whoever submitted this, whoever's watching, sequencing is so important. You start this turn off with the pudding. You just do that. Trust me, you just do that. Because if they block with the let me explain why. If they block with Borsellino, you go every single card into Borsellino, and their hand size is gone. They lost a character, and we're just laughing. We're just laughing at them, right? Or they lose the character, and we go on from there. and We start going face. Okay, and then I think there was one more sequencing issue that happened earlier. This was great right here, countering out. I really like this. They play out the Kaido. Let's see what they do. Okay, the Kaido is going to... It got rid of our 7 cost 8K, or our 6 cost 7K, excuse me. And let's see what happens here. This was the turn. Okay, so we had a little bit of a, like, mathematically here, I'm not sure what the idea is. Shirahoshi could just swing for 0 into a 0 power character. For those who are newer in the game and don't know, a 0 power character can attack a 0 power character. And remember, if the attack ties the defense, the attacker wins the attack, right? They KO the character. So you could get a free attack on the Momo, get it out of here, and then from here, I would go 11, 11, 11 this turn, and it would be 11 into Gecko Moria every single time. And then when they finally let Gecko Moria go, it's 11 into face. Because otherwise, look what we actually let him do here. Watch this. We're swing 12's just a strange number to swing with, I'm going to be honest. Because it made us have a weak attack with our pudding, only a 9K with pudding. So 11, and then this ends up being 10, right? Because it could have been 11, 11, 11. Not a big deal. That's just slight number difference there. But 10, notice this, they go 2K, 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 and they get out of it very clean with a 3-card counter. But right here, now they have a Gecko Moria. If we would have gone 11 into the Gecko, they probably get out of one of them, right? We saw that. And then if they get out of the second, they have 1 card left in hand, and you go 11 into the Gecko again. They have 1 card left in hand. They have no Gecko Moria. We have all these 2K counters in hand. We're completely fine. Okay, and then I think there was one more. Let's skip through to the very end here. This was a great submission, whoever put this out. Lots of teachable stuff going on here. Very good with the Frankie. Like I said, I'm greedy. I would have just used the cycle right away to draw the card, just to get through it faster. But that was fine, keeping a 2K counter in hand. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then right here, again, going for 12, I don't quite understand. 11 ends up being the perfect number. When you have a 9K, 9K, 5K, add it all up. So what does that equal? If you've got 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 5 is 23. Then you add 10 to that because you have 10 Dawn, right? So 33 divided by 3 is 11. So you have 3 clean 11 attacks across the board, and that would have won the game this turn. I can almost guarantee you that, because look at what would have happened. They took the 12, of course. They'll take, that's the biggest attack you can swing with currently without having to worry about the blocker. So you just take that. Okay, and then right here, they're going to go ahead and swing in with, I think you swing in for 12 more. Now they can use the blocker and easily get out of a 9K attack. You see what I'm saying? The 9K attack is much easier to get out of than an 11K. Okay, so right here, 2, 2, 1, and we know he has a Borsellino, and I don't know what else is left in his hand. He might not have been able to get out of it. Okay, good stuff. Really good submission there. Now let's move on to the next part of the video. All right, let me black out right here. We've got some really cool stuff now. We got to see this brand new list. Okay, let me go full screen. All right, you ready, guys? We got some cool, really cool stuff here. Okay, this list here, I'm going to make my head really small. We'll move myself right here. Big shout out to somebody from the channel. Good friend of the channel. They've been following for a long time. Ephraim Keynes. Hopefully I said Ephraim Keynes. Hopefully I said the name correctly. I apologize if I butchered it. But check this list out, guys. We have a top 16 list here that went 8-2 at the Raid and Trade Treasure Cup online, Treasure Cup. And look at this. They started off 6-0, beating Blue Dofi, Blue Purple Reiju, Black Yellow Luffy, Black, Mono Black Lucci, Red Purple Law, and Green Bonnie. Guys, Green Bonnie, Dofi, and Dofi are very tough matchups for this deck. Starting off 6-0 like this, incredible. We're going to break down the list in a minute. Don't worry, guys. Going to break it down in a minute. Then he got in, once into his 7th game, Black Yellow Luffy. He did lose against a Black Yellow Luffy, which is not unheard of. That's one of the best decks in the format. Everyone knows that. Very, very strong deck. Then played against another Black Yellow Luffy and won. Played against a Red Purple Law and won. And then finally, for the 10th game, went against a Black Yellow Luffy and lost that one, unfortunately. But hey, 8-2, just made top 16, like literally number 16 from what they showed on the results in the Discord. Absolutely incredible. Again, big shout out to Ephraim. Sorry. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Congratulations on that. Incredible job. Now let's break down the list. The list is awesome, guys. It's very spicy. Like, check out what is all in this list, guys. So they're running 4 Zoros. Okay, let's talk about the Rush package first. 4 Zoro, 2 Luffy, and 2 Kid and Killer. That's it for the Rush cards, guys. Only 8 Rush cards. I like that number a lot. I tried as low as 5. It was too little. I tried up to 9 or 10. That was okay, but sometimes it did flood the hand. Maybe 8's the magic number for Rush cards you need for the list. For this version of the list where it's very trigger heavy with Rush support and trigger support. What else? Well, it's trigger heavy with a lot of Rush support and top end support. Let me say it like that. I think that's a little more accurate. So let me go through the 2K counter package now. Charlotte Flampe, 4 of Satori, and 4 of Frankie. Those are just incredible 2K counters. Satori's coming in out of life. Flampe has infinite utility, right? If you life one of your rushers and they're like, oh, I'm not going to attack your life because I don't want you to have that rusher. Okay, no problem. I'll draw that card by myself now and another card with a Flampe, right? Just incredible. For only a 1 Dawn investment, for just a single Dawn investment. Satori's coming out of life. So is Frankie if you get down to 1. And just incredible 2K counters otherwise. And if the game starts hitting like, more of like a stall, more of a grindy style game, just play Frankie out. He's a 4-cost 5K. Like, it's not like it's bad. You know what I mean? Really good stuff. Same thing with Satori. Now, let's talk about the top end real quick before I go through the whole trigger package. The mid-range to top end, check this out, guys. I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, 10. So, Gadatsu, 4 Gadatsus, 2 Edward Newgate, very, very interesting. 3 of the 7 Lin, just an incredible card. Let's just call it what it is, right? And 3 Shanks, okay? By all means, if you're not on the Discord, guys, hop on the Discord. The information should be in the channel description. I have like a permanent link in there. Hop on the Discord and you can read what all we said and go through, like, because Ephraim actually broke down some of the matchups and some of the cards just a little bit, not like a detailed breakdown or anything, but he at least talked about it a little bit, talking about how, like, Charlotte Linlin was incredible. Newgate was not bad, but it also wasn't, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad, so we'll take it, right? Here's my, let me explain something real quick before I move on any further. Actually, let me finish what I was thinking first. Hop on the Discord if you're not on there, guys, if you're interested in, like, match details, and hey, you can even at them in there. Be like, hey, at Ephraim Keynes, what did you think about this? What did you think about this card? Not trying, don't overwhelm them, of course. I'm not trying to scare people off or get people, spam messaged. But you can just leave it in the deck theory crafting or tournament results tab, and then we'll all answer it in there, guys, because the channel is almost up to 1,000 users. The channel is getting really, really big. It's been growing. Even the YouTube, the YouTube channel and the Discord channel have been, or I guess the YouTube channel and the Discord server have been really growing, guys. I really do appreciate y'all hopping in, hanging out, us bringing all of our minds together to make decks like this. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. It's a community now, and I really like the way it's going. So anyway, back to what we were saying here. Let me explain the Newgate real quick, because I think that's a really interesting card that I've never messed with in Sabo. I've messed with the card in other decks, but in Sabo, I don't think I ever gave it a try. Or if I did, I definitely can't remember. Edward Newgate in here. So remember, guys, for those who do not know what the card does, it is a 6-cost, 7,000 power character with a 1K counter. So there's no downside to having it in your deck. It's just, 6-cost 7K, that's fine. 7K being a magic number for us to life it later in the game if we need to without any further Dawn investment. And then it's a 1K counter in hand. But then the on play is this. What you do with the on play is you add a card. You add a card from your deck, from the top of your deck to your life, and then you look at all the cards in your life and you arrange them however you want to, and then you put one card back on top of your deck. So you're not gaining a life, but you are able to fix life. And after talking to Ephraim in the channel, he was saying that there was a game that came up against the Bonnie. The one game against Bonnie he played. He dropped Edward Newgate probably on curve or somewhere around, the time where it was appropriate. And he looked at his life cards, saw a 10-cost Shanks in there. Like, so remember, drew a card from the top of his deck, looked at all of his life cards, saw a 10 cost Shanks in there. He put that on top of his deck and then, you know, passed the turn after fixing it how he needed it and doing whatever he needed for the turn. And saying, okay, pass, your turn. Guy plays a 9 cost Zoro or whatever next turn. I don't know if he played a Zoro or a Dofi or whatever. Okay, well, I know what I'm drawing next turn, and it's the answer to whatever you just played. I'm just going to pop whatever you just played. Just awesome, right? The synergy, guys, is just so strong there. Really good stuff. I'm going to have to try that Edward Newgate very, very soon. Okay, so we talked about Gadatsu. We talked about Newgate. I didn't talk much about Gadatsu, guys, but it's one of those cards where it's like, okay, if you're going to get someone who goes very wide on the board, it's just a nice way to pop their characters. And I will say this, looking forward into the OP08, I will talk about that when we get to this list again at the end of the video. Going into OP08, I actually think that Gadatsu might have a very smooth transition out of this kind of deck with the heavy trigger support, and that might become a 5-cost Nami, guys. That might become a 5-cost, 5,000 power Nami, which has a 1k counter, trash a trigger to pop a 5 or less. Who cares what your opponent's life is? You can just do it like that. We'll have to see. And again, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that Ephraim wants to do that. He might like where the Gadatsu is. We'll have to talk to him more about that in the channel, right? Or in the comment section or something. Okay. Now, so that was Gadatsu. Excuse me. Now, moving on to Charlotte Linlin. This card is just a stud. It performs. It performs every single time. Because, like, say you played on curve, right? Like on a 7 Dawn turn, you went first. Number one, your 7 Dawn turn is usually pretty, you know, it's pretty important because, well, how do I say this? I think your 6 Dawn turn is more important if you're going second. But a 7 Dawn turn, if you can just slam down Charlotte Linlin, okay, did you lose a life or did I gain a life? And look at all the triggers I might have gained in my life, okay? And then I have an 8k body on the board. If I have to next turn, I'll smash in with this and put it back into my life. And then I'll just do this again. And the card generates so much value. Because think of it like this. If they gave you a life, well, number one, you just got to counter out of one of their attacks, right? And number two, you might have just gotten another trigger. And lastly, number three, worst case scenario, you just got to draw a card. You see what I'm saying? Like, all of those are good things. And you establish a 7-cost AK body. Now, if they chose to lose a life, perfect. They just lost a life. They didn't draw a card, and they didn't get access to a trigger. So it's the full reverse. The card is just incredible. I can't say enough good things about the card. Now, finally, for the boss in this deck, we've got 10-cost Shanks. It's just too good of an answer against cards like 10-cost Ace, 8-cost Katakuri, 8-cost, what's his name, in Lucci, Gecko Moria. How's about 9-cost Zoro, 10-cost Doflamingo? This hits everything but the 12Ks, guys. This is a 10-cost 12K that pops any 10,000 power character or less in play, on play. The only downside to the card, and people have said this, I know it's been mentioned on the channel, it's been mentioned everywhere, is, well, when you play it, you don't get to use your leader effect for the turn. Oh, well, not a big deal. And here's the nice thing, here's the thing I really like about this list, is, okay, say you get these early on, right? Where it's like, oh crap, I'm playing against a deck that I don't really need this against. It's not a big deal. Because let's say you get a Sanji trigger, or a Charlotte Cracker trigger, or a Satori trigger, or you have to use your 0-cost 3k counter. You just trash the Shanks. And we're good. We're back in the game. You see what I'm saying? This is such a well-constructed list. I can't say enough good things about it. Okay, so that was Shanks. Now let's move down to the trigger package, and we'll wrap this portion up, and I'll show you guys one game of me playing this list. I just copy-pasted it into the sim. Show you one game of me playing this list against Iceburg. Very fun game. Iceberg's getting kind of decent. We'll talk about that probably in another video. Okay, now for the trigger package. We're running 16 triggers that are not 2k counters, so altogether, think about 16 plus 8. That's 24 triggers in the deck that are bodies, that are potential bodies. The 16 that we're running here are Sanji, Cracker, Nekomamushi, and Kikanojo. Awesome. Excuse me. Guys, sorry about that, my throat. Sanji, just an incredible blocker. 1k counter, 4-cost 5k body, trigger character. I have said this about this card so many times. I know it's getting repetitive, but I just have to say it again. The card is never dead. It's never a dead card. That doesn't mean they can't KO it. That doesn't mean they can't get around it. The point is, it forces them to play around this card. If it's a 1k counter in hand, perfect. If it's a 4-cost 5k on the board and I have to attack with it, they have to counter out of it. If I need a blocker, he's blocking. It's just, and if it's in life, it's a trigger coming in. You know, it just does so much. The card's incredible. Cracker, same idea, but instead of being more defensive, he's a little more offensive. And if they're at, you know, if they're at 4 life and you're at 2 life or 3 life, okay, well now you have a very solid way of just running them over with a 7K attacker and with double attack. And if they chose to counter out of it, that's not a big deal either, because now we can attach 1 Dawn to our leader, push that card back to life because he's still 7,000 power until, you know, until we have equal to or less life than our opponent. So now we can push him to life and plus 2,000 power to another character for the turn. Just awesome. And then last but not least, we got Neko, Mamushi, and Kikanojo. I don't have too much to say about these cards. They speak for themselves. Kikanojo is absolutely incredible. Neko Mamushi helps break stalemates so easily. If you get a Neko Mamushi and they thought, oh, I'm going to hide behind this blocker, you're not hiding behind that blocker anymore, buddy. That, like, I will swing what I have to into that blocker with Neko Mamushi, and then I will life the card to protect it and get it back next turn, eating up one of your attacks, generating more value for me over the course of the game. Just incredible. Same idea with Kikanojo. She just can't attack active. But if it gets KO'd, then you get to gain a life. So, you know, it's, you know, very limited downside to that. Okay, well, just awesome. Could not be more happy to see this when I got up today, hopped on the Discord, and saw this in there. Again, big shout out, big grats to Ephraim. Such an incredible job. Keep up the good work. Going 8-2, going against nothing but meta deck lists, guys. Look, went against Dofi, Reiju, Luffy, Lucci, Law, Bonnie. The only deck he didn't go against on here was like Enel. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he couldn't have beat Enel. I'm just saying that's the only list he didn't run into on here. And for those wondering, yes, Enel's a tough matchup, but it's not like it's unwinnable, okay? It's not like it's unwinnable, especially when you're playing with a top end like this with your Shanks, with your Charlotte Linlins, and stuff like that. So, really, really good stuff there. Okay, now, let's go ahead and check out some games on the sim. We got 2 games on the sim, and we'll wrap this up. All right, I think I can make my, my picture a little bit bigger now. We'll move this over to where it should be, or close to it. And now, 1 second, guys. Let me get us all set up. So, this is a game of me playing the list we just saw. And again, I did not make that list. That was made by Ephraim, and he did an incredible job with that. I'm a big fan of that list, guys. A big fan of it. But now, this is me piloting the deck against a random person on the sim. Let me go speed 2x, and we're good to go. This is against Iceburg, guys. Iceburg on the channel here. Watch what happens. This list, the Iceburg list, is very close to being something decent. Look at that. Kaku on turn 1, a 5-cost 6K on turn 1 with Banish against a red-yellow deck. We don't like to see that, guys. We do not like to see that. Watch this. They're going to swing 6, use the Dawn -1 when attacking effect to give it Banish. And now I'm going to counter out with the 2K 1K. That's the nice thing about going 12 2K counters, guys, and 2 of the 0-cost 3Ks. I load up for 9 and swing into 6. It's like, hey, if you want to save this, it's going to cost you 2 2K counters from hand. He goes, oh, I'll just let it go. Because watch this, guys. They play out Pauly. They choose not to pop my Flampe. Maybe they didn't have enough to do the effect. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, I think that might have been what it was. But whatever the case is, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to use the Flampe anyway. I'm going to swing in for 7, swing for 6, swing for 7, get Zoro on top of life. And now they're going to play out another Kaku, play out Bluno, and play out the other Kaku. When I saw that, I thought, okay, this is actually a list that is geared to beat mine and to beat other yellow decks, you know what I mean, with all the Banish. And it's like, okay, this is a little bit scary, actually. Watch how we handle this, though, guys. Always take a second. This is like a hallmark for a well-made deck list. When you have options that help you get out of situations on the board, right? When you have options to, like, really outplay your opponent. Not saying you will. They might outplay you, right? It all depends. And you know, of course, it's all about, you know, how good the pilot is and the player. But it's like, okay, in this situation, I want to swing in for 7 with my Zoro into the Pauly, and then swing the rest into the Pauly with my leader, and then go about things that way. But should I life my character? That's where it gets tricky. It's like, I don't really want to life my character, because if they attack him with these 2 banished characters here and I can't get out of it, then I lose my rusher. So watch this. This is an interesting turn here. This is I'm not saying this is the best turn here, the best play, but it's kind of interesting. So here we go. I swing for 7 into 6. I want them to use 2K counters. They didn't fall for it. That's okay. So right here, it's like, all right, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to play out the, I'm pretty sure I'm going to play out the Zoro. I did just play this game, by the way, guys. Like, I played it just a minute ago. I play out the Zoro, swing for 8. They take it, and watch this. No trigger. I pass the turn. I don't like the Zoro because I don't want him to load up like 9 on a character and banish my Zoro. Okay, swing for 6. He returns a Dawn, gives it banish. I 2K. He's going to attach a Dawn to the other Kaku. Swing for 7 with banish, and I'm going to 2K 1K. I'm going to get out of every single one of these that I can. At first, I was kind of, you know, scared because I got so many 2K counters in my opening hand. But now, that is literally winning me this game. You know what I mean? It's actually keeping me in the game, even though I have 3 cards left in hand. Okay, let's see what we do here. I think I'm about to be on my 10 Dawn turn. And I'm going for the board. I'm not having it with this board. I think, let's see what happens here. I think I draw a Kid and Killer this turn. Like I said, guys, I did literally just play this game. Let me make sure the speed is on 2x. Yep, we're good. They play out a Khalifa. I do get a Kid and Killer. Now, here we go, guys. It's like, you know what? I am not playing any games into this board. Swing for 8. Swing for 8. Let's see if he decides to protect it. Okay, he does. I life the Zoro now that he has no more banished cards on the board, and I swing for 7 into a 5. And that's now a 7K Kid and Killer. It's going to be very hard for him to deal with that with the limited amount of Dawn he has from using his leader effect and his Dawn minus effects. He's going to go ahead. He was not able to pop my Kid and Killer with that. What's his name? With Paulie in the way that he did that turn. He's going to swing for 5, draw 2, trash 1 by Dawn minus 1ing the Khalifa. And now it's going to be my turn though, so I'm okay with this. I go ahead and take this to get my Zoro back. He's going to play out another Kaku. Guys, how many Kakus have I had to deal with this turn? Like, I think it was like 5. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I think it was 3 or 4. But, you know, he's bringing some back. It's not like he has that many in the list. Okay, I play out the Shanks. I said, no, we're done with that. We're not playing that game. You're not banishing any of my cards. You only have 3 relevant attacks, and I have 3 life. And whatever you turn sideways next turn will get destroyed. And I'm going to gain life. And I might be able to counter out of some of the attacks, of course. Okay, so he's going very wide, which is what you should be doing. This is all well played here. Swing for 7. I will gladly take this. We get a Neko Mamushi. Seems good. Swing for 7. We get a Big Mom. He's not swinging with that. He is not swinging with the 6 cost there. The, what's his name? Okay, pause. The Eustace kid. Now, I swing for 12. He should have taken it. He has 3 life. There is no reason for him to block there. Because now, look what I can do on the board. He's about to not have a board, right? That's the answer. There is no more board for him. So watch what happens here. I think I'm going to put 3 on my Neko Mamushi here. We're going to swing 8 into the active character. He's going to have to give me a 2K, 1K if he even has that to give. I'm going to life this card here. Swing for 7 into 6 here. Eat up a 2K counter. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. All right, so I've got some stuff I can do here. Let's swing for 7 into it 3 times. So once with the Kid and Killer, once with the with my leader, and then one more time with the Zoro. It's like if you have the 2K counter, you've got it. I don't think he did not have it. Now he's going to go ahead and crack my Kid and Killer there with his the Ragnarok card. It's like Ragnaroku or something. I can't remember the name. They're going to swing 7 into 5. I'm not going to throw my counters away here, guys. I'm in too strong of a position. I'm not just going to throw away all my 2K counters to save a Zoro when I have a Shanks on the board. I've got 2 Kikinojas in hand and a 7-cost Linlin. Let's just be smart, right? That's the idea right here. I've got this game in the bag. Why would I throw it away? So I play out the 7-cost Linlin here. Now we're going to swing 12 into face, I believe, and we're just going to pass the turn. Because if you dare attack into me, you give me another body, and even if he has a rusher this turn, I have 2 life. Right, he only has 1 attacking body. Now he could have gotten to maybe 2 if he had drawn a rush card. So I'm just not in jeopardy of losing this game. Okay, he finally pops the Flampe. That card was just chilling. The Flampe was just enjoying the time, just enjoying the fight. Like, wow, you guys are really strong. You know, this little 1,000 power body watching all these attacks go off. 9 into 5. I'm like, okay. Swing 9, swing 13. I just do it. Just, you know, you just end the game right here. There's no point in dragging it out. GG. Hey, guys. This game surprised me. Number one, the deck performed perfectly as you'd expect it to do. It did very well. However, Iceburg is... I wonder how much more support that this leader needs before it actually becomes a very, very top-tier list. All of that, the Kaku banish stuff going on, I don't think many decks would have been able to handle what just happened there as well as this one, because we can actually gain life, right? Just saying. Okay, now we got one more game on the sim. This one's a little random. We got a black-yellow Linlin game. Just a little bit of fun, you know, just a little bit of fun for the sim here. Speed is on 2x. The volume is off. Let's go full screen. We're going against a blurple Kaido. Blue-purple Kaido. Okay, and look at my hand, guys. That's interesting. What's going on here? This is an OP08 legal list. I am running the new Charlotte Angel, which allows me to trash the top card of my life, and then at the end of my turn, I will get a brand new card on top of my life if my leader is Big Mom Pirates. So I take the first 5, and then the next 5 I just counter out of with a 2K. I go ahead and trash the top card of my life. I'm filling up my trash. I'm hoping to have some stuff in there for later for like maybe 8-cost Gecko Moria plays, right? I play out a Kikanojo here just to establish a body. He's just going to smash into Angel. He wants to for sure get the Dawn ramp, go into an Onigashima. Sure, that's fine, right? Everything's fine there. I don't have any issues with that play from him. That was solid. I'm going to swing 7 into 5 because that's a magic number. That's a very annoying number to get out of. He takes it. Let's see if he has any trigger. He did not. We'll play out the 1-cost Pudding, and we still have 4 Dawn left for the turn. Okay, and I go ahead and get another Angel, but I'm not going to play that here. I'm going to play out the Parosparrow. I want to keep a little more aggression on the board, a little bit more offense on the board. Okay, and he plays out the Kaido. Okay, that was a pretty nice hit there. I didn't get a single card from the Parosparrow. You hate to see it. He's going to swing 5 into face. And right here, I'm just going to give him a counter because I know I'm about to take one more hit. But then he goes into my board. So I'm like, okay, sure, no problem there. I'm going to swing in for 6 here. He needs to give me a 2K counter. If he takes this, I think he doesn't have 2K counters. He did not take it. I play out Linlin. He loses a life. I'm at 4 life. I've got 4 cards in hand, which is not like a lot, but we're doing just fine. He plays out that Ragnaraku card, which I think it's like Dawn -1 or Dawn -2, 5 costs to pop an 8 or less. Okay, swing for 5, and it's time to start slamming down Linlin. Okay, the best strategy ever, right? And look at how strong that is to trash cards, guys. Trashing cards from life. He did not get to draw that other 9-cost Kaido that just went to his trash. Not this 1-cost event he just played for the turn. It got a 9-cost Kaido from his life. Okay, he still has 9 Dawn. He might have another one in hand. He does. He has another one in hand. He's going to pop that character there. He's going to swing in for 5. All I have to do is counter out of this one, and he pretty much just loses, right? I go, swing 12, swing 15. GG. He just leaves. It's understandable. He can't get out of that. Because here's the idea. Before I even got the Parosparrow, by the way, another Parosparrow in life and a Kikanojo. It's like, oh, man, you're just in so much trouble. He just leaves. That's fine. It is what it is. But here's the thing. Even if I had not gotten the Parosparrow, it doesn't matter because I'm going to swing for 12, which you can't block out of with 3 cards, and then I'm swinging for 15, which you cannot block out of with 4 cards. So it's just, again, it's just calculated lethal. It's just math. Game's over. Okay, now let's look at one more thing here. This is that list we were just looking at, that the red-yellow Sabo list that got top 16 at a Treasure Cup, went 8-2, playing against nothing but meta lists. Playing against nothing but meta decks, guys. Like, that's all. So that's just so incredible. I love seeing that. I wish I could go to these big tournaments. I just don't have the ability to do so. I just don't have the ability. But yeah, as far as this deck goes, maybe this is the best one, guys. Because for a long time, I was saying Big Mom Pirates. And notice, a lot of this list does have the Big Mom Pirate stuff. It has the Flampe, it's got the Cracker, it's got the Sanji, it's got the Linlin. And then instead of running some of the other stuff like... what's her name, Smoothie, or the Searcher stuff like Pudding and Parosparrow, it just goes, well, let's just run more 2K counters and let's just run stronger trigger cards because this is better than Smoothie. You know what I mean? Shoot, this is better than like any other trigger in the game, whereas Cracker just always was a good trigger. You know what I mean? Shanks just cracks everything in the game that's relevant. Like, yeah, sure, it misses out on like a 10-cost 12K character. Who cares, right? Which 10-cost 12K is this deck worried about? Because it's not Kaido. You know what I mean? It's not something like the 10-cost 12K Kaidos. It's it's more like the main characters this is in the game, or that this is in the deck to deal with, are cards like 9-cost Zoro, especially 9-cost Zoro. That is the main one. And then like 10-cost Dofi, sure, it doubles over and pops that. 9-cost Yamato, 8-cost Katakuri, 8-cost Gecko, 10-cost Ace. It hits just everything relevant that we need to worry about. So this is just such a great top-end card. It's got the Charlotte Linlins. It's running 2 of, some of the best counter in the game, like with the 0-cost 3K counters. This trigger can just win games by itself. Everyone has seen it happen, right? It's still running the great, really good 2K counters. Flampe allows us to do so much. The Frankie's awesome when it hits. Sometimes the Frankie feels lackluster when it doesn't hit, but when it does hit, guys, it's pure gold, right? It's just pure gold. Then Satori, of course, 2K counter. This one's always good. This one's never dead. This is just a great card. You know what I mean? And like I said, the only real it's not like a weak spot I see in this list. I just see that there could be possible upside and improvement in the future. I just want to show you guys something real quick of like going into OP08, some possible revisions this list might get. Check this out, guys. Gadatsu could just become Nami. They're both 5 cost. They're both 1k counters. You lose 1,000 power. That's it. You lose 1,000 power on this card versus what Gadatsu has. But look what you're gaining. You just always get to pop a 5 or less. And the trigger can do it as well. You just have to be able to trash a trigger card from hand. Oh, man. Well, how are we going to pull that off? Oh, wait. This deck has like 20-something triggers in it, right? This deck has 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 26 triggers. Okay, and think about it. If we also get rid of 4 Gadatsus for 4 more cards with triggers, we're at 30. You know what I mean? And another thing to consider, the reason I brought up Egghead is because there's one other card in here that I really want to start playing with, especially in a list like this that doesn't have a lot of card draw. You know, it has the Flampeys, and it doesn't need too much card draw because you're recycling so much from your life. But imagine if we add Jewelry Bonnie to a list like this, maybe in the place of like, you know, -1 Shanks, -1 Linlin, and go from there. You know, you'd have to make your own adjustments. Obviously, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, here's what you do. I don't know yet. We need to do some play testing. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much more about it. I just want to say that this list came out incredible. Really happy with how well Ephraim did with it. Couldn't say enough good things about it. And I'm hoping this really, you know, opens up people's minds that Red Yellow Sabo is a serious contender, guys. Think about it. Number one, Ephraim's a great player. Okay, that helps, right? When you're trying to win a tournament, going 8-2, he's obviously an incredible player. But imagine if like 20 or 30 other people were also playing this list. You see what I'm saying? Like that could have done so much. Like that could have, imagine if there were 2 top 16 Red Yellow Sabos in the list, or like someone made top 8 or 1 with it. Well, that can happen when you have multiple people running, like many people running it. And I don't know, in all fairness, I don't know how many Red Yellow Sabos were in the tournament, but I couldn't imagine there were that many. Because, I mean, we saw from the picture, let me see if I still have it up. Yeah, this is what he went against, guys. He didn't go against any Red Yellow Sabos. It was just pure Dofi, Reiju, Luffy, Lucci, Law, Bonnie, and he didn't run into anyone else. So anyway, something to at least talk about, guys. Something to think about. There could be something here with Bonnie. There could be something here with Nami. There could even be something here with Luffy. That's another trigger card. 5 cost 6k, 1k counter. Maybe this could even replace something like the Gadatsu. We'll have to see, right? But not saying anything against this list. This worked out perfectly, and this probably, I bet this card really helped in the Dofi matchup. Maybe not. I'll have to ask him in Discord. Okay. That's this list. Now, one more list we got to look at. I do have a black-yellow Linlin list. Let me see what I called this thing, guys. I've got so many Linlin lists. I think this is it. Yeah, I called it Angel. Yeah, okay. So this is the list that we saw in the last game of the video. This is just a fun list here I've been working on. I can never... Okay, yes, we are in the Red Yellow Sabo arc of this channel, guys, and I'm going to be honest, you know, there's a little... It's the Red Yellow Sabo arc, and then, like, also Revo Army. Like, that's the arc we're in. Just like when we were in the Black Yellow Linlin arc, it was also a little bit of Big Mom Pirates. You know what I mean? But even though we're in the Red Yellow Sabo arc on this channel, of course, Black Yellow Linlin is one of my absolute favorite decks, guys. I just love what this deck does. I'm not saying it's top tier anymore. Like I said a while back, guys, I thought this leader back in OP05, I believe. It's been a while now. We're almost like 3 sets away. Excuse me. I thought this list was actually like in the A tier. Like at the very bottom of A, at the top of B. Never said it was S tier. But guys, you'd be surprised the kind of games you could take off S tier decks with a deck like this back then. Nowadays, I do think it kind of settles in the B tier. I don't think it's S tier anymore or even close to it, or like even maybe, I don't even think it really kind of brushes into the A tier like it used to. Unfortunately, it just hasn't gotten a lot of support since it came out. Now, if it gets more support, we'll have to see what happens. But at the same time, it did get one incredibly powerful support card in this Angel card, which is why I started building this list in more of the Big Mom Pirate stuff. Like, notice I'm going 4 Pudding, 4 Parasparrow, 2 Sanjis. You know, this is searchable by Pudding. We've got 2 of these Sanjis as well, the 2k counter. But not a whole lot of targets. It's got 4 of the Linlin, the 10 cost, 2 of the 7 cost. Just a little bit of a package for Big Mom Pirates, like with the Flampe as well. And then just other really strong support cards, you know, like Suru, Borsalino, Sabo, Gecko, Ice Age, you see it. Not a whole lot to talk about here, guys. One thing I will say with Gadatsu is, yes, in the early game, this is very good at helping clear up the board and establishing bodies and establishing tempo. Yamato, same thing. Excuse me, playing this on curve when you have 1 life left is one of the best feelings in the world when you can pop one of their characters. and then you're also running 4 Ice Age, so if you need a combo Gidatsu or Yamato later in the game, that is still an option, right? So really good stuff there. Just a little package that can, you know, take care of some of the targets you need to keep going in the game. But yeah, that's about it. I'm not saying this list is finished. This was just a fun one to go over. But yeah, all right, I'm done rambling. That was a lot of fun, guys. Again, this was a very fun video to make. I love when I see these players getting lots and lots of success with the decks that we make on here, especially the decks we're really serious about. And one thing I want to mention, I didn't take this picture, guys. Ephraim sent this to me. Notice in the background. I almost forgot to mention this. I almost forgot to mention it. He's got the play mat, guys. And this was on an online tournament. I really hope everybody got to see it. You know, check out the VV Theory channel kind of thing. It's just such great, you know, it's so great to see you guys do well. The people who watch this channel, I want you guys to all do good. I want you guys to start winning tournaments. If you guys have any questions and you want to take your game to the next level, hop on the Discord, say something in the comments. That's what I'm all about. For those who are not aware, I'm a teacher. Like that's like that's my actual profession in real life, is I'm a teacher. Okay, so seeing my students, quote unquote, don't take that the wrong way, like seeing my you know, the people that are watching me, seeing them succeed, seeing any of my viewers or followers or subscribers or whatever succeed, that makes me feel better. You have to understand that, like, that brings like joy to me in a way, you know what I mean? I love seeing people succeed who just, you know, who are here, they come along for the ride. I love seeing it. You love to see it. Okay, I'm done. All right, check it out now. Let's go ahead. Hey, perfect segue. If you are interested in the mat, I've got about 25 more, guys. 25 or 30 more. Big shout out to everybody who has supported me by buying the mat. Notice we got Ephraim on here, guys. He's well, you can't see. He's on the far left over there, under or above Tim and Jose at the bottom left corner. But yeah, if you want the mat, you know, by all means, I have a whole video on that. I'll link it in the comment section below on how to get a hold of me for that. Because even if you're international, so notice for US only it's $35. For international, I think it ends up being like $55. And I handle the shipping, right, guys? That's why the international one's $55, because I'm basically just factoring all the shipping into it. But yeah, if you are interested in the mat, by all means, either hit me up on Discord, talk to me. That's fine. Just please don't DM me. You can just hit me up right in the general channel, like, hey, interested in this. But if you're too, you know, nervous to do that, by all means, message me if you need to, or say something in the comment section on YouTube. So big shout out to all the VV Pirates playmat supporters, guys. Hope y'all are enjoying your mats. I love seeing them pop up in pictures and stuff like that. It's just awesome. And then last but not least, guys, the VV Pirates patron page. Thank you guys so much for just trying to help me out, literally just by donating. You just want to see the channel succeed. You want to see me succeed, and I really appreciate that. I really can't say it enough. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to everyone who's just watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. I really appreciate you guys so much. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe this video. And until next time, guys, peace.